Don't say what you said, just say what he said, okay?
Were they mentioning the echo at all? Because the audio's different. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
He reluctantly
Okay, here we go.
agreed to me working on this movie or taking a job. He was filming a different movie in London at the time. I
Yeah.
wasn't going to play a sexualized character. I wore no makeup or minimal makeup in the movie. No sexy clothing. No kissing scenes. No sex scenes. So I went and did that film in October of 2014 in Georgia while he finished his
Say
movie
hello
in
to my little
London.
friend.
And then at some point he came out to pick me up
Yeah.
in Georgia and was there for my last day or two of filming.
I wonder if she'd be
I'm going
pissed if
to,
she knew Johnny Depp was
ask
just
you to
drawing
turn
pictures the whole
to-
time.
Michelle, can you bring up 310, please? Defendants 310.
Who wants some?
It's just drawing.
Say hello to my little friend.
They get the shading in on this, it's whatever, right?
Did you have communications with Mr. Depp about auditioning for another role in this time frame?
Objection, Your Honor. I'm going to object to
I'm
the
an equal
exhibit.
opportunity
It's hearsay.
ass kicker.
Ooh,
I'm not sure who's in there.
ooh, we gonna get it or not?
It
Are we
is
gonna get
text
it or
change
not?
in there, So, but the green is Mr. Depp. And
Yeah.
the one I'm most focused on is on the second
Playing
page. You're on, or the top.
Warcraft
Green button on the
Royale,
second
yeah.
page? Yes.
Keep over video, thanks for 5 subs, appreciate it.
Ugh,
Thank
something
you.
smells rotten around here.
Just that text.
It's making a list of everything it's gonna do with the $50 million he's
Based
about to
on
win.
rulings,
Yeah.
yes.
Any objection to that text?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Get that redacted.
That's smart.
And while that's being redacted, and let me ask you, what, if anything was Mr. Depp saying to you in this time frame? We're talking November
Break your head off and
2014,
shit down your
about you
neck.
not working anymore and not taking on any more work or auditioning.
Objection, Your Honor. Compound.
They're all the
I'm
same
reading.
subset. Overruled out loud. Thank you.
Johnny was angry with me for working. I finished my job and I needed to eventually find another job, meaning a movie, to work on, and he was furious at me for,
Thank you.
he found
He's catching
we call them
Pokemon.
sides, they're just pieces of an audition, pages, and he found something that had been sent to me to consider auditioning for, and he blew up at me for, yeah, I think what he said to me was that I didn't tell him, that I didn't ask him, and that because he didn't know about that audition that I hadn't done yet,
Yeah.
that I had been hiding it, and
Okay.
was furious at me. I ended up not doing that audition, I believe. Well, there was a few, one or two in that time that I did put my, I did audition for, and one or two that I didn't.
I'm going to ask you now to take a look at what is Defendant's Exhibit 310. Do you recognize this?
Okay, all right, we
Son
have
of a
evidence.
bitch.
Great, that's what I'm waiting for. Let's get the fucking
Yes,
evidence
it's a
in.
text.
Yeah.
All right, here we
Say hello
go.
to my little friend.
It's in evidence, 310.
Oh, okay.
It's evidence with
Thank you.
redactions, so.
You talking to me?
Please tell the jury about this text.
Yeah.
This was Johnny's response to me, apologizing.
Is this him
for
saying I love you
having
again?
an audition.
This monster will never say, if he says I love you
Thank you.
one more time, this
All right,
is just
now,
so
I'm
incriminating.
going to stay in
This is
November
disgusting.
of 2014. 2014.
It's awful. It's a monster.
Did there come a time that Mr. Depp told you that he understood that you were not going to accept any more jobs, that you were going to stop working?
Johnny said this to me in
He tried to do a world a
in
favor.
an argument, in a fit of rage. It's the best way I can describe it.
Good try, man.
And kind of alluded to me having agreed to not work anymore, which, if you don't know me, is preposterous. There's no way I would agree to that.
Who wants
Although I did make concessions and gave up a lot of
Objection,
these
Your
fights.
Honor, hearsay.
That was overruled. Thank you. Please continue.
Say hello to
So
my
he
little
reached out
friend.
to other people and to me to that effect. Furious at me for taking meetings. There was one in particular I wanted,
You're an
one meeting I wanted to
inspiration for
take because it was a
birth
project in
control. Looks
development
like
with a
you're
sci-fi writer.
Fucked.
And I remember I wanted to take that. These things were just, they were just constant fights, but in
You
between them, when
guys
things were
suck.
good between Johnny and I, he would be, he would word it to me like, I'm trying to look out for you. You
Yeah.
say that you don't want to be objectified. You're doing it to yourself, but at first it was because I dressed a certain way or had sex scenes, and then it just got more narrow and more narrow and more narrow what I could do without being blamed for why the industry, Hollywood, the entertainment industry was putting me in a box
Who wants
and objectifying me. So it became my fault, and I believed it. I believed it. I adopted
Whose
a lot
fault
of these
else
changes.
would it be?
Myself, not because Johnny, said you have to do it this way, but because of all the other things that he said and did, I eventually
Yeah, wasn't she in Magic
found
Mike too?
myself
Wasn't it a stripper
making
movie?
decisions about my own career, about how I dressed, about how I wore my hair, how I presented, where my eyes were cast when I walked into a room. And I believe those were my own decisions.
Amber, did there come a time in November of 2014 that you engaged in some couples counseling with Dr. Cowan and you and Mr.
Oh,
Depp?
is this where he'd leave to smoke weed?
I attempted to. I
Here we go.
had stopped seeing my therapist
Attempted
at
to.
in 2014. I couldn't sustain seeing her and be in a relationship with Johnny, and I chose Johnny.
Yeah.
Eventually, Dr. Kipper introduced me to his close friend, Dr. Cowan. And I met with Dr. Cowan and agreed to let them share communication about my care, my treatment, both what I said to Cowan and what I said to Dr. Kipper, who
Okay.
would become my physician as well.